Hey everybody. So it's been a pretty good week for bugs. I mean, the bugs are doing really well this week. So I'm going to say what I'm intending to do. We'll see if I hit a bug on the way to the park. Uh, of what I'm trying to do. But basically, I should have a fairly easy day today. Basically, I just want to change this from a slider that lets you go from 0 to 1 to a number that's defaulted to 1. I mean, to a text box that's defaulted one. That should, fingers crossed, be very, very simple. We won't need any kind of interface changes because it's still staying a number. It's just a purely UI change. So let's see. This is intensity. Probably, let's see. Yeah, one of the things I can add is a little note. So I probably should say that 1 is 100%. But before we do that, intensity. Okay, so here we go. Now, so this is where it would be so nice to have routing. If I had set up routing in the beginning to where these are, go to the place that if I had a slash lights, and this would just open in the lights on reload. And I'm kind of in my other video series that I'm working on for web speech. I'm sort of exploring that right now because I feel that there's a couple little weird things about dealing with tabs and routing and where exactly how you should sort of architect that so that you're not like redrawing everything all the time. So, anyways, so right now it's a matte slider, and I really want it to be more like we don't have a single on this form. We don't have a single text box. So I want it to be more like this, an input like that. So hopefully, and then, so let's just try to move this down there. Keep it with the same control name. And then, so I will say that like, if I was working right now if I was doing this as part of a job right now, this would be very stressful because in the corporate world, they're kind of focused on agile and like trying to understand how long it's going to take things and all that. And sometimes stuff just happens and you just so we would have lost a whole week in a job, if it was this way. I mean, in 8-hour days, it'd probably be a day. I would have lost just a whole day to bizarre bug fixes. Um, and like, so what, like a lot of companies will do is they'll put a lot of pressure on you to get things done in specific amounts of time. And then what they'll do even more, like I worked at this one place where they put you on a team, and then they basically every 2 weeks we would get together and see how the team did, and if you were letting your whole team down when you didn't get stuff done, and they just played a lot of mind games to try to get you to be highly performant. And it was kind of funny because they would always say, "Oh no, you shouldn't be feeling any pressure," but then they would do things to make you feel pressure, and that was always like a very strange experience, and like I said, they didn't just put pressure on you; they put pressure on the entire team. Um, so that was tough. That was a very tough situation, and I don't know, and I'm glad. But when you do your own project, you really shouldn't do it that way because it's hard, because, but like when you're doing your own code and all that, it's really more of a labor of love, and it's something that can help you enjoy programming more as just more of a positive experience as opposed to work is work. I mean, there's just no denying it. They try really hard to make work a lot of times, especially for people who have to be creative for a living. They try to make it not feel like work, but at the end of the day, it's still work. Let's see. So that is that. Let's see, what if I put like an A in there? Yeah, see, it'll let me put anything in there. And I don't really remember exactly how I fixed it here. Um, so there was nothing directly in this, so it's probably in the update. So there's probably a edit light, value change, yeah, and then intensity, and then yeah, so it looks like I need to add this sort of logic around it. Basically, I check to see if it's a value. If it's not a number, then I set it back to the X position. Now, where do I get X position? Oh, if it isn't a value. Otherwise, I don't do anything with it. So I don't know when it becomes a 0 again, because I just typed A in. But anyways, so it looks like that's the path that we're taking. Control copy, Control V. And just change that to intensity. It's a little bit like tempting to sort of add a, kind of create like a generic sort of solution. Okay, constant. I guess intensity is a good word for this. But like right now, I just want to kind of stay focused on intensity, and then it does not look like this is something that you could animate because it doesn't have a start position and an end position. So I probably would like to animate this. It would be kind of, you could make some cool effects by making like kind of the light come in and out. Let's just comment that out for the moment. I intend to delete it, but just so we have it as a reference. And let's see what happens. And then add light, edit form. Let's see, A. So it still let me do that. So there must be more that that happens probably on the update light. Let's see. Oh wait. Okay, so looks like I'm actually taking that value, doing all those checks, and then still taking the original. So what was this original thing that I caught? So it looks like I was assigning it twice because I wanted to be double sure that I got assigned. I mean, technically that doesn't really do anything at all because, it's in the same cycle. And I would imagine the browser's JavaScript compiler, transpiler, or whatever it's called. It's not a transpiler, but the JavaScript recognizes this double pretty quick and optimizes it away. I don't know if you know that, or I don't think it's commonly known, but basically the browser's JavaScript compiler goes through and it goes through all the code, and then it finds any kind of weird things so it runs the same code. If it finds itself running the same code over and over again, it actually will optimize that code so that it doesn't have to do things like double assignments, and that is like one of the things that makes it a lot faster. And so that still didn't do it. I guess we should console log that. I mean, it's weird if not isnan. And then, because I don't understand why this is going back to 0 when I hit an A. All right, so let's take a peek inside of update light. Let's see if there's something that it's doing with light item in there. Okay, so if it finds a light, and so basically I would have thought that at this point the intensity would still be the original 1 number. Okay, so that's fine. So it might be happening in the effect. So basically I make this change and all that, and then it updates the light. This did not allow it to actually update the intensity. So the intensity is whatever it was before, which I would think is 1, which was the value that we had in there. So like if I just do this console.log light item, comma, light item. So if we look in here, the actual, when I change it to a, so let's go back to lights, add a light, edit it, go in here, and change this to an A. So when we look in here, what I'm hoping is that the intensity, yeah, see the intensity is still 1. So what should, I think what happens is probably it did change. I would think it changed. So an effect should have fired. So let's just see. I guess I should spell that right. Effect. So theoretically, what should happen is, so effect ran, and then show the light, effect ran again, which makes sense because we just added 1. We changed this to an A. Okay, an effect ran. Okay, so that's good. It got, that was that, and that was that. Okay, so in the effect we call update forms. Okay, so let's see. I would imagine something is going on here. Okay, so this should patch the value, and the intensity is not in here. So okay, so basically what patch does in reactive forms is, so there's 2 choices when you want to update something in reactive forms. So one choice is set, and then the other one is patch. I think it is patch value. So I believe it's not, it might be light item dot form dot set. Okay, so it's set value. And set value, you're supposed to give it a full, complete object that represents everything. Patch value, you can just give it some of the attributes, and then it will only update the attributes that it has. It'll leave the other ones as they are. So I believe that's going to fix this issue. You know, this is so fun, right? This is really, really fun. But I have to admit, you know, my confidence is a bit shaken at this point. Okay, there we go. So just put it right back to what it was. Okay, so, but I can make it 3. Okay, so now that to me, this is the big question: is was ChatGPT telling the truth? It said that um, I could um, increase the intensity past 1. And for some reason, I thought I could only have it be, wow, that does seem bright, an intensity of 1. So let's do this. Width of 100, height of 100. Let's go back to intensity and make it a 1. Oh my goodness. 5. Wow. 50. 500. 5,000. I'm blind. Okay, so that's fun. That's really fun. That's awesome. Now, so let's move it out a little bit, since right now our spotlight is sitting at 0 and it can only point at 0. We don't have a look at it. I'm going to move this out and then I'm going to convert it. Oh my God, I hope this doesn't have a bug in it. Convert to spotlight. There we go. There you go, buddy. And then 2, 5.5. Back to 5. 500. 5,000. It's kind of the same because it's like, it's already, I guess it's maximum brightness at that point. So that's cool. I can't believe it. Let's clean this code up a little bit. That makes sense. Oh, I probably wanted to put a hint in here. Can I just do this? I don't know if I can just do this. Let's see. I don't know if that hint went inside the form. It probably doesn't matter. Let's just see what happens. That hint. And then light, add a light, show the edit form, expand it. Okay, so yeah, that whole thing is not. So I know that we do that in the mesh manager. We definitely, I'm pretty sure. Let's go look. Let's just double check before I get carried away. Yeah, so our base, okay, so I want it to look like this. I don't want it to look like that other one. So let's go ahead and go to mesh manager and just grab like width or whatever, one of those guys. Look up width. Okay. So basically, we want to do something like that. And let's see, font list, component. Come on, let's go in here. Hit Control Z, just so we can get ourselves back. Okay, so hopefully this all works. Light form. Change that. And then its name is intensity. And its form control name was intensity. And then the hint is max value, or 100% intensity is 1. And let's hope that I can just delete this. Let's cross our fingers. Light, add light, show edit form. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So finally, we finally had a very peaceful, friendly um, account. So I do think the next video, what I should do is make this intensity something that you can animate. Um, so basically what that will entail is going into the light interface and making intensity a animation property descriptor and then dealing with that. And I'm actually surprised. It looks like my red color and green color and blue color should also be animated. Um, because I mean that would be cool, you know, if the light changes colors. Um, so yeah, I think I'll just do intensity next time. I'll worry about, I don't know, let me see, because I believe in the mesh, I already have it. The mesh interface, the colors, I believe, are, no, they're just numbers. Okay, so the only place I have it is for the scene. The scene interface, yeah, these are animation. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to leave those for now as those, but I think the intensity, I think that would be cool if I can make that to where the light kind of gets brighter and then goes back, you know, like in a loop. Um, but let's see, and then what's left? Well, really, I did have a bit, some, you know, like commented or some console logs, so I should get rid of those. And let's see, get rid of this. That's so funny that I was actually uh, had the light intensity. I was setting it twice. Okay, and then this whole slider thing is no longer valid because it's not a slider. One thing that most people are not necessarily aware of is that like these sliders and things like that, um, sometimes they're quite often, depending on how you set it up, sometimes they just will give like 200-300 events per second, and and the UI only updates about 60 times per second. So you can bog down the application trying to do calculations and all that. So sometimes you have to use some kind of mechanism to throttle that, and then you know. So that's what that note was, but I don't need to worry about that anymore. Anyways, guys, that was awesome. Happy coding. Bye.